Hello and welcome to Brands Hatch. You're here with car number 3. I'm Tom Chilton and this is my race car with BTC Racing. It is a Honda FK Type R chassis, and if you step back you can see she is a beautiful looking car. Nice slick shape, nice low centre of gravity. We're on slick tyres, which gives us lots of grip in the dry. Goodyear do make us a cut slick tyre for the wet to help get rid of the rain. Stepping around the car you can see all its shapes and its curves. It's got all these parts here which are standard on the FK Type R road car, which follow all the way through, even to the Venturi on the bottom. We haven't adapted this at all. This is as the road car, but it looks mean, it looks evil, and we pray it gives us a little bit more downforce so we can run the rear wing a little bit flatter, because the rear wing, as good as it is for giving you downforce and stability at the rear, it does slow you up the straight. So it's a beautiful car, and as a standard Honda, it is a fantastic car. Now stepping inside is what I know you want to see. Inside the car is where it all happens. Welcome to my office. It's a very unusual office. It doesn't have a desk as such. The closest thing I've got to a desk is the dashboard, which you can see up here. This is actually one of the parts off the road car. So there are some parts and regulations we have to have the same as the road car. You can see here you've actually got a nice little plaque with my name, Chilton, on, and it is a Honda, and the Quick Fit BTCC Championship. But that's great because the camera on board, when we're racing, you can see which car you're on board. And you've got your sticker up on the windscreen of what car number you are, and we're car number 3. Inside here you've got your dashboard, which I can switch on. Usually flashes lots of lights. One of the noticeable things when you sit in the car is how low down you are, which really helps with the centre of gravity. We have our gear shift lights up ahead. So rather than looking at a rev counter like in your road car, we have lights. So as they go up, we pull this shifter, but we do the gear shift on 100% full throttle, and it cuts the ignition for you so you can keep full throttle, so it's as fast as possible. And then when you brake, you just push down the gears. We have some buttons here which do similar things to your road cars. Rather than having lots of sort of things sticking out the side of your wheel to do your windscreen wipers or you twist for your lights, we have everything on here, so there's nothing around our hands, because in a racing car you have to move quite fast sometimes because of how the car's handling or something in front of you need to get out the way of. So everything's on this touch screen pad here. We have a digital display, which to be fair is like most road cars now, where you do get the RPM, you get your important things which you really need to know, like water temperature, oil temperature, what gear you're in, battery, and there's lots of other things you can change on this when you're doing practice starts. Now that's the other thing I want to tell you about, is everything on the steering wheel. So it looks very basic compared to your modern day steering wheel in your road car, and it doesn't have a heated steering wheel, but I can tell you what, it gets so hot in this car it might as well be heated. We have up here a flash, which is very useful in qualifying to get somebody out your way. Not that that worked at Donington for me. You've got this button here which can lock your brakes for the practice start, and push past is what we use in the World Touring cars. In this car we use it for practice starts, which is very useful because you can change how you want your engine for the grip level on the tarmac on the day, because it does change quite a lot. This is your radio button, so I can talk to the team and they can talk to me, which all these wires on the side here, they all plug into my helmet so I can talk to everybody. I have earplugs as well. This is the pit lane speed limiter, because for safety reasons we don't want to be coming down the pit lane at 150 miles an hour. We want to be regulated to the speed of the circuit, which does change at certain circuits, like Knock Hills are very tight pit lanes. We make sure that that's slower than everywhere else. This is the button to change your page on your dash, which is quite cool. And then here are your engine maps. Now predominantly we use this for cooling down the engine, so when we come into the pit lane, our turbo's at sort of 600 degrees, we need to, or maybe even 700, we need to get it back down below 550 before we can switch off the engine. And a track map. Now you would think, I mean, in the 16 years that I do know where I'm going around Brands Hatch, now I do, but when you're on the circuit really quickly, rather than saying the name of the corner, which I know them all off by heart, we sometimes just quickly use corner numbers, because for the engineer, it's a lot easier for the engineer to write down right problem at turn 2 rather than saying Druids. We write down the number because it's shorter, faster, and in motorsport everything is about speed. It's about adapting to what's in front of you as quick as possible, and that includes the engineer, so that we can make a quick solid change and move on with the race. In front of me we've got the big red fire sticker. Now we do not touch that, and if you have your children get in the car for a photograph, never let them touch that button, because the fire extinguisher, which is right next to me down here, will explode all around the car, the engine bay, and make a right mess. But it is very important having that in the race, just in case there is a fire, for safety. Up here we have our brake bar, so you can turn it left for F, which is front, or right for rear, which is very, very important for tuning the car, because you want to brake as late as possible and optimize the brakes front and rear. Ladies and gentlemen, I am starting to sweat because it is 36 degrees today and I'm inside the car out in the sun. There's no air conditioning in here. I'll point out again, there is no aircon in a racing car. And next to me, this is new for this year. So this is a nozzle which lets some of the fire extinguisher out. So this actually comes across all of your body. Whereas in the old days, you get a little bit down here which sort of sprays on you. This actually goes all across you and across the whole width of the car, which is really good, because next to us we've got the battery. So, you know, batteries, if they set out on fire, it's important to put that out, and obviously any fire on us to put us out, so that's very good. And then this is another tuning thing for the brakes as well, which alters the brakes front to rear, which, let's be honest, brakes change as they get hotter or tyres wear out, so you're always trying to adjust the two in the race to get the most out of the car. And looking down here, you can see how low everything is to the ground, and how we've cut holes in the air jacks to make them as light as possible. There's holes here, there's holes everywhere. It's like Swiss cheese, but it's all done so it's light and it's strong. So this is it, the bit you've all been waiting for, looking underneath the hood. Lifting her up, you can see there's the engine. It's all nice and tightly fitted into the front of this car. It's a nice 4-cylinder 2-litre turbo engine producing just under 400 horsepower, all through this nice big turbo here, which all links in nicely into the intercooler, which is very important on a hot day like today to keep it as cool as possible for maximum performance. Lots of heat shielding here. Difference with the Honda engine is it all comes out of one place here, rather than having 4 individual exhausts. It's all done inside the engine and comes out as one, so it all looks a bit neater. And it's all bolted. All of the engine and the gearbox is all bolted to the subframe here, built by RML, which all the cars in the championship have to run the RML subframe, front and rear, which actually really helps to keep everything nice and close in this championship, so the lap times are close for excellent racing. Well, there was a little bit of a tour around the car and underneath my bonnet. I hope you enjoyed it and look forward to speaking to you all soon.